Hey everybody, welcome back to Fallout Equestria, part 2 of Chapter 23. Let's see where it's
There are
going.
2 rounds into each of them. They barely got a shot off, scorching an armor plate on my utility barding and giving me a painful but bearable burn beneath.
I'm
I crept
tired.
up past the guard desk and peered down the hallway beyond. It had a few doors that opened to side rooms, and at the end of the massive metal door of the vault, a terminal glowing on the wall beside it. As Calamity started into the hall, I paused at the desk. I spotted the book, which had slid down behind it, increasing her sales figures. The picture on the front was a satisfied customer eating an apple. I floated the book into my saddlebags, having exhausted my current book collection.
Gotta get that barter up.
I trotted into the hallway, catching up with Calamity. A scorching bolt of green energy shot past me, hitting the wall behind us and melting a hole, turning the faux wood paneling in the bricks beneath into a glowing green goo.
Ew, critical shot.
There's nothing better than the smell of melting zebras in the morning. Crap. One of these. Back! I shouted to Calamity. The two of us barely made it to the corner when the multi-limbed hoverbot floated around the corner. I felt flame lick at my tail as the robot hosed down the hallway we had just been
Not
in with its
Mr.
flamethrower.
Handy.
Ow, 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 ow.
They're always so
I
fun.
pranced, flames licking at my tail until Calamity stomped the fire out. Ow! Pardon. I whimpered, tears in my eyes. Thanks. On our way down, Calamity had prodded me to unlock every ammo box, coin till, and desk. His saddlebags were now virtually overflowing with golden pre-war coins, as well as packages of cigarettes and bubblegum, and other things he considered worth the wait. I wasn't really expecting to find a merchant we could trade
You
with
really
in
want that
Philadelphia,
fucking
but I said
bubblegum?
nothing.
That's gotta be some nasty
I
ass
had taken most
bubblegum.
of the ammo, including a prince's prize of 4 magical energy grenades. Well, grenades did the trick last time, I whispered, floating 2 of them out. And, unlike alicorns, I'm pretty sure I can trick these things the same way twice. I sat on my haunches before the wall-mounted terminal next to the vault door, the smoldering wreckage of the hoverbot on the wall behind us. The door to this vault was almost identical to the one under Shattered Hoof, except this one had no exterior lock, rendering all my skills at lockpicking useless. However, by hacking into the terminal, I was sure I could tweak the spell matrix and get the door to slide open. Calamity stood guard over me as I worked. We both looked up when the muffled sound of an explosion echoed from somewhere several floors above. Not loving kindness, that, I guess.
You know, I've always wondered, like, is that shit dangerous in these old ass rickety buildings? Like, one grenade, maybe the whole thing comes down. What you guys gonna do then? I mean, Lil Pip can't fucking teleport.
Nope. You know, if I survive all this, one day I'm gonna sit down and write a sequel to the Wasteland Survival Guide, covering all the things Ditsy Do managed to leave out. I loved the Ghoul Pony, but seriously, a whole section on radhogs and barely a mention of hellhounds. And the chapter about making robots work for you was completely hoof-fucked. I concentrated on the puzzle before me, working my way through possibilities of code until I settled on the right one.
Well, you know, the player character who did that clearly liked the Roadhog mission and just did not want to fuck with the local equivalent of Deathclaws. You know, I mean, makes sense. They're probably like level 1. They don't want to deal with fucking Deathclaws, so they like only gave a brief mention of Ditsy Do and like, yeah, okay, we're done. See you later. Got my experience and I'm out. Oh god, that's probably what happened. Oh god.
This was almost as hard as Pinkie Pie's terminal. Almost. With a series of loud clanks, the vault door slid down into the floor. I raised an eyebrow at that, then stepped into the vault. Sunpony had already been in here. Only a scattering of pre-war coins remained, and most of the smaller safes that lined the walls were open and empty. Well, now I'm depressed. I took note of 3 smaller safes, and 1 large one which still seemed intact. The locks on those suggested a level of skill required that was beyond. Was this the work of the same rival lockpicker who made such a mess of Hippocampus Energy Plant number 12?
It was Red Eye!
No. That would be absurd. But the little pony in my head just wouldn't give up on the notion. I started on the large safe first, confident in my ability to beat it, and eager to show up my imaginary rival. It took effort to open the safe, but the tumblers finally fell into place. The large door nudged open. I pulled it back with my telekinesis enthusiastically, driven to see what was inside. Inside were 2 objects, one of which I had seen before, recently, through binoculars. an anti-machine rifle. Only this one was pristine, with golden flame-style filigree.
Ooh, is it legendary? Does it got a star next to
deep
its name?
citrines embedded in the barrel, and an embossed nameplate that read Spitfire's Thunder. It was also broken.
Legendary weapons are the shit! Oh, that's cool.
Down to fit into the safe. Some assembly required. Calamity whistled at the sight of the gun. My own attention was drawn to the small box next to it. The box had a familiar Apple insignia on it, although just one rather than the 3-on little Macintosh. I floated it out. The box had its own lock, but it looked significantly easier to pick. Them gems on that there barrel? I've seen gemstones like that before, Calamity was saying behind me, still fascinated by the gun. They hold an enchantment that sucks up the buck of the gun. Makes it so the Pegasus can fight without getting knocked off course. I chuckled.
So, anti-recoil enchantments? Oh god, think about the kind of weapons you could have with, like, anti-recoil enchantment. Like, you know in the movies when you see a guy with a minigun and he's just firing, you can't fucking do that. You would tear your goddamn arms off. But if you have an anti-recoil enchantment, oh, think of the guns you could use. Think of the fucking guns you could use. Oh, that's so cool. I want one.
He probably thought he was going to be subtle. You want it? It's yours. I grinned. I've even got some bullets for it. The box with the apple clicked open. I realized I'd seen a box like this before, in Vinyl Scratch's safe. Like that one, this held 4 memory orbs. I set the open box down. Behind me, Calamity was trying to do his best not to squee. Thank you, little Pip. That's mighty gracious of you. Calamity. I shushed him with a smile. Stand guard. I might be gone for a bit. The orange Pegasus spotted the box.
Mention Vinyl Scratch's death
turning
again.
To face the vault entrance in a battle-ready stance.
She's my favorite opponent. I got a little vinyl
I
figurine
tilted
of
my
her.
horn down towards the box, picking up a memory orb at random and focused. The bank, Calamity, and the entire equestrian wasteland washed away. Applejack was looking at me like I had lost my mind. And just what in the hay do you think you're wearing that for? I had really hoped to learn more about the past, and with any luck, the mayors of the ministries. But to find one of them addressing me, up close and personal, this seemed beyond the stroke of fortune. The room around us looked very much like the suites in Tenpony Tower must have been in their prime. This was a ministry hub, perhaps. There was a song playing in the background that I'd heard before. I want to calm the storm, but the war is in your eyes. How can I shield you from the horror and the lies? When all that once held meaning is shattered, ruined, bleeding, and the whispers in the darkness tell me we won't survive. It took me a moment to place it, but I had once seen Steelhooves virtually entranced by that song. To remember tonight, I felt my mouth say. The words came out in a smooth, low rumble.
No!
Oh,
no.
It was Steelhooves' voice. More urbane and not nearly as gravelly as the ghoul we knew, but it was definitely him. How the hell this memory ended up here, in this bank? It only now occurred to me that maybe Steelhooves had known what the building next door had been, not because he had noticed it today, but because he remembered it. Oh, hell no. I ain't doing nothing while you're wearing that ridiculous recollector, Apple Snack. Applejack put her hoof down. Now take it off.
No.
Wait.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
I really shouldn't be here.
No.
This was private.
That's...
I'll tie you up with your own lasso. Applejack's eyes went wide, a blush forming on her freckled cheeks.
Damn! Applejack and
Oh,
some
sweet
creeps.
Celestia, have
Shit.
mercy. Not only was I invading Steelhooves' private memories, but the buck was aroused. I could feel the hot hardness that I fought to escape from. I prayed to the goddesses to pull me out of this memory, to spare me this, and my ghoul companion too. He didn't deserve to have me here, and I very much didn't want to be here. Eyes narrowing dangerously. And just what makes you think you have what it takes to best me with my own lasso, Soldier Buck?
Oh my god.
Part of my brain paused to marvel that the country filled
Like, I'm with Lil Pip. This going too fucking far. Who would make a memory of this?
No.
What happens
Applesnack
if your
leaned
kids
forward,
find it?
that hot pressure in his groin becoming unbearable for me, and whispered huskily, "Because I know it turns you on." Way too much information. Please, Celestia, Luna, any pony, stop the memory. Need to get off now. I mean leave. Need to leave now. I almost felt my prayers were answered when a loud chiming sound rang out from a nearby glowing terminal. Applejack shook off her deer-caught in slaves-like expression. Still no, she decided, turning away to look towards the terminal. Now I got to take this, and you best not be wearing that thing when I'm done. You look ridiculous. I felt my host sigh, then trot slowly towards what I recognized as the bathroom. A sudden shot of horror went through me. Applesnack was still sporting his hardness. Goddess, please don't let them have a full-length mirror in there.
Oh, come on.
Cry of
You
dismay from
took
the orange-coated
biology,
elder
probably.
mare solved my concerns with startling quickness. What's wrong? I felt myself say in Applesnack's voice. The mayor of the Ministry of Technology was scrolling through information on the terminal screen as fast as her hoof would let her. No, she moaned. No, they wouldn't. Her voice was becoming louder and more strained.
What?
No, they.
What?
They.
What?
How could they?
What?
Again.
God damn it!
AJ. Love. What's wrong? Applejack turned towards her soldier buck with a start of tears in her eyes and a frightened edge to her voice. Ironshot's what's wrong. She spit as the other emotions struggling behind her face lost out to fury. 1 year. Steel Rangers have been around for 1 year, and Ironshot Firearms has gone and built a gun designed to punch through their armor. They've gone and built a gun to kill our own. I felt Applesnack go rigid at the news. The blonde-maned mare was strutting back and forth in a barely contained outrage. They're calling it the anti-machine rifle, but what it really is the anti-magical powered armor rifle. She spun, tears in her eyes. How long before the zebras get hold of this? They've just killed our own. I felt my host swallow. He was doing amazingly well at keeping his heart rate down, but while I couldn't sense Applesnack's emotions, I could feel the physical toll. I put everything I had into finding a better way to keep our soldier ponies safe, Applejack raged. I sold my farm. I fought the ponies of my own ministry to get this done. She turned, her eyes wide and filled with tears. I sold my farm. A lump formed in my throat. My heart hurt for the mare, and my host wanted to lash out at the evil ponies who could be so thoughtless. The orange pony
Why would they make that gun? Like, why would they make something that punches through the armor of your own soldiers? That seems like the kind of thing you could say industrial sabotage. And, you know, maybe take over the company. Also, you're talking about, like, how long until the Zebras get a hold of that gun? How long until they make their own fucking power armor? That's something you also gotta think about. So maybe that gun's not a bad idea, but to make it before the Zebras have their own power armor, that shit's suspect. You know, no, just launch investigations, shut down the company, take the findings. Like, I'm against totalitarian regimes, but this is the kind of moment that they kind of work, because you could stop that shit. Okay?
spun and bucked her bureau so hard it shattered into splinters and piles of clothing. This is betrayal.
Yeah.
They can't do this.
Damn straight. They
My
really
host
should.
watched as his mare looked around for something else to buck. Then she seemed to have a better idea. I'm going down there, Applejack decided abruptly. I got family down in Ironshot. Brayburn will listen. I felt a sinking sensation in my heart. Steelhooves, Applejack barked, addressing my host not by her lover's name, but by his military designation. Call Wingrat. Tell him to be on the roof in 2 minutes and have my personal chariot ready. If I leave now, I can make it to Ironshot before morning. Maybe I can head this whole thing off before. Applejack, love. Applesnack offered slowly, trying to be reasonable. If they've already invented it, then you can't put the apple back on the tree. I knew he was right. The other item in the safe had been proof enough of that. Applejack shot us both a look. Or, at least it sure felt that way. Well, some pony ain't getting any for that good bit. If I could speak, I would have told her that such expectations had long passed. Now make the call. The orange pony turned back to gaze at the scattered fragments of wooden dresses. Great. Now I've got to find something official looking to wear. Less than 3 minutes later, Steelhooves was saying goodbye to Applejack as she stepped into the elevator outside their suite. The call to Wingright had been made and the Ministry Mayor's chariot was waiting on the Pegasus landing platform. "I'll be back before you know it," Applejack insisted, dressed in a stiff, formal suit dress that did not appear to get much use, and looking slightly less murderous, but no less determined. "I'm sorry this night ain't gone like you were hoping for. I'll make it up to you. Promise."
That was the last
She
time they
turned
ever
and
saw
raised
each
the
other,
hoof,
wasn't it?
touching the button for the landing platform. As the ornate door slid closed, she cocked her head. "And take that recollector off. You look—" The doors closed. A soft whir could be heard as the elevator began to ascend.
That was the
My
goddamn
host
last
looked
time
up,
they ever saw each other.
watching the arrow above the elevator door slowly glide across the numbers. Floor 4, 5, 6. Applesnack turned back towards the door at his and Applejack's suite. The recollector was actually starting to itch. A loud twang sounded from inside the elevator shaft behind him. He spun back towards the ornate doors as he heard Applejack's elevator carriage rumble downward past this floor, gaining speed. Then there was a loud, horrendous, metal-twisting thud. I burst back to the real world, shaking from the memory, still feeling Applesnack's scream as if it had come from my own lips. Looking up, I found Steelhooves' visor staring down at me. I cringed back, wanting to crawl into the safe. His low, gravelly voice simply stated, "Definitely a vice." "What is unity?" the voice of Red-Eye sounded.
Okay, so we know the gun exists. So that wasn't bullshit told to Applejack to get her to go. But who killed her? Well, okay, we know. I don't think it was the zebras, because I think Applejack was the one that that was constantly trying to. Well, they might all have had their ministries gunning to kill them, except for Fluttershy, at least. So, but we know for a fact that Applejack's ministry tried to kill her. I think that's the one that was confirmed. We're not sure about the others, but I would not be surprised. Why would they make that gun? Where's the fucking market? The zebras have a market for it. But until the zebras have power armor, not the equestrians. And I really doubt that there isn't a trade embargo between the zebras and Equestria. So, like, that's kind of shit. That Applejack doesn't even need to go. She can just say, "Hey, what's the secret police ministry again?" I don't know, but she could, like, call anyone at Twilight, Princess Luna, say, "Hey, these guys made a gun specifically to shoot through our power armor. Check that shit out. Stop them." Just, you know, whatever, right? You don't need to go yourself. And also, Applejack acts like the zebras aren't inventing their own weapons. Like, "Oh no, we made a gun that could punch through power armor. How long till the zebras get..." Bitch, what if the zebras already made their own version? I mean, they see power armor like, okay, not only do we need to get our own power armor, we need to make weapons that punch through that power armor. The zebras probably have their own R&D teams. They probably got crash funding. Like, also, power armor's gotta be expensive as fuck. And like I said, at the rate both Equestria and, we're just going to call it Zebraca because I don't know, are going, I said this like several videos back, at the rate they're expending resources and lives, it's like World War I. It can't have kept going on. If Fluttershy didn't develop the Balefire bomb, the war would have run out of steam by the simple fact is there's not anybody left to fight. It's like Germany in World War I. They were putting 15-year-olds in the service. They were at the breaking point. Both France and Germany and Britain, all of them were at the breaking point. U.S. didn't need to join in. The war was fucking over. But that's kind of what I felt was going on here when the Balefire bombs hit, was that the war was pretty much out of steam. There so many deaths, so much expenditure of resources, so much everything that, god damn it, Fluttershy. like, wars... Again, the closest equivalent to world wars, which is basically what this was. They couldn't have gone on forever. Like, you said 21 years because it was on and off. Okay, I could buy that. But the final years here, it was clearly going total war like World Wars 1 and 2. So, they were fucking running out of steam. But, oh man. I got off topic, but like, how could a company get away with that? Like, this ain't a fucking democracy. Okay? You made a gun that is now the detriment to the best trump card the armed forces have in a world war. You lost everything. Like, there's no reason not to just call and say, "Oi, this company is now shut down. The machine rifle is now patented by the Crown of Equestria. You are now a traitor to the state. To the penal colonies with you." Like, come on, Applejack. God, no, well, whatever. Fuck it.
In my ear bloom. Calamity and Velvet Remedy had naturally taken the lead as we worked our way back through the bank. My hooves felt heavy, like mine were the ones trapped in steel. I couldn't look at Steel Hooves. I could feel him staring into me, not saying anything. It was so much worse than being yelled at. Unity is you. Unity is your family, your mother and your father, your brothers and sisters. Or, at least, it will be. I've seen it, and yes, unity will be me as well. But for now, I am merely its, and thus your, humble servant. The goddess has gifted me with the vision of unity, and it is she who will bring peace to this troubled land. Think of me as nothing but a courier, delivering the message of evolution.
You do not deserve that title!
To heal this land, and all the good ponies with it. No pony dies in Philadelphia unless they choose to, and in the new Equestria, no pony will need to die again. When the time has come for your toil to be over, you have but to submit yourself.
Okay, we're on the fucking immortality train. Is that how it's going? Okay, let's get something straight. I hate immortality. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I think it's the worst goddamn thing ever. Like, I'm always giddy when I read a story or like an old tale about how a guy gets immortality, and it's the worst fucking thing ever. Like, that makes me laugh. I hate immortality. Now, agelessness, like Tolkien elves, like Lord of the Ring elves, where you're just ageless. I'm okay with that. That's cool. That's something I want. But actual full-on immortality, like a perpetual from Warhammer 40k, like Vulcan. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. That is horrible. Oh my god, I hate that. It is the worst. The worst. But the reason for this is, I think Pat, Matt, Liam, and Wooly did it best on their video. I forget which video it was, but they talk about immortality. And like, so I think Pat said it. I don't want to be immortal, because each year that passes by, the likelihood of me getting in a situation I can't get out of increases. I could fall into a sinkhole. I could get stuck between like two falling rocks and nobody will ever find me. I could get sucked into a black hole and not die. The star can explode. I could be flying through the cosmos from the kinetic force of a star exploding and never hit a planet again. I could fly out of the galaxy into vast space and still be alive, but with nothing to do except for inky blackness. The planet could die. I'll be stuck here on a dead rock in space. Fuck immortality. Fuck it. It is the worst. Fuck you, Red Eye. God damn. Immortality is the worst.
Already, the goddess has taken those who come to her, pulling them to her bosom and transforming them. Their old, weak, sick bodies are peeled away, replaced by a new, transcendent form. As we were passing the open doorframe of an office, Steelhooves lifted a metal-clad hoof and shoved me inside. He followed. Clearly, he wanted to be alone with me. Looking anywhere but him, I stammered an apology. He ignored it. "Which one did you see?" he asked coldly. I looked up to him, startled. "Which memory did you see?" I flushed with icy embarrassment. The one where I fought to find the least intrusive description. Applejack learned about Ironshot making anti-machine rifles? Oh, Steelhoof said. The other 3 memories were locked safely away in his pack. The accident. I recalled Applebloom's strained voice. Some folks are saying that maybe 'twasn't so much of an accident. They say that maybe 'twas some pony within our own ministry.
Yeah.
The biggest row Applejack had was over the anti-machine rifle, Steelhooves informed me. I sensed that, having seen the memory, he wanted me to have a touch of context. It was abnormally forthcoming of him.
Oh, the apple on the box. That's his cutie mark. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, I just figured that out.
Even more odd considering how deeply in the wrong I was. On one hoof, I couldn't really blame them, Steelhooves admitted. You wouldn't either if you saw some of the robots the Zebras had begun to deploy on the battlefield. I found myself nodding, despite the ache in my heart for Applejack. I remembered that tank-like Sentinel robot in 4 stars. I'd fired on it with armor-piercing bullets from a sniper rifle at a distance of yards, and only a precision shot to a volatile area had managed to stop it. But I knew how
we
bad
get
that hurt.
context now. We get context. Okay, good.
And how deeply personal she took it. Only made it worse she had the family in Ironshot. Whole thing just about tore her apart. He nickered behind his helmet. Damn thing was. The Zebras came out with armor-piercing ammo a few months later anyways. Not as effective as an anti-machine.
Yeah, see this is what I'm talking about. They got R&D teams too, Applejack. God damn.
Rifle at taking down my fellow Rangers, but a well-placed round from a rifle could punch through a Ranger's helmet. Steelhooves looked me over until his visored gaze stopped on little Macintosh in his holster. Truth is, with AP ammunition, that gun could do it. Little Macintosh is possibly the most powerful firearm of its size. A touch of nostalgia crept into his voice. Designed for the kind of buck to the teeth that only a mare like Applejack could handle easily. Despite how low I was feeling, a snort of laughter escaped me. According to Spike's story, Applejack was strong enough in the tooth to haul not only her own weight, but all of that of her 5 friends with nothing more than a bite on a dragon's tail. I had just begun to notice that all the context I was getting was about the firearms, and none about the accident itself, when a thunderous gunshot rang out. Was that Spitfire's thunder? How far ahead had Calamity and Velvet Remedy gotten, and what did they run into? I darted around Steelhoof's bulk, dashing out of the room and towards the sound. I could hear the heavy hooves of the Steel Ranger falling behind me. That was a warning shot, I heard Calamity state ahead, his voice muffled and slightly mumbling. I don't give 2. Warning shots are supposed to miss, Velvet Remedy barked sternly. I didn't hit anything vital, was his response. He was speaking slow, his words sounding like they came through clenched teeth. That weapon, a gruff mare's voice insisted, is the property of the Ministry of Wartime Technology. Surrender it, Tribal, and we'll let you live. Horse apples. Now I could tell why Calamity's voice sounded so warped. He was talking while holding Spitfire's thunder in his muzzle. He was better at it than the slaver with the shovel spear whom I had encountered on my first night out, but not by much. The only reason you ain't blown us tribals to bits is that you didn't want to hurt the pretty gun. I heard Pirelite let out an alarmed squawk. Damn, Steelhooves muttered from behind me as he broke into a full gallop, leaving me swiftly behind. I lowered my head, charging forward, trying to keep up. Little Macintosh...
We finally get the Brotherhood of Steel, or whatever they're calling themselves this time. You know, God, I fucking hate the Brotherhood of Steel. I mean, Lion's Pride in Fallout 3 was cool guys. But also, the fucking condescending tribal. They're not tribals, you arrogant piece of shit. Like, tribals have spears and don't really use guns. Like, I play Fallout 2. I know they don't. Like, what the just that fucking arrogance and prejudiceness is what always makes me kill the Brotherhood of Steel. Always kill the Brotherhood of Steel. If I can, and it doesn't destroy the main quest. Sometimes if it destroys main quest. Like, you do not know the satisfaction that I feel when I watch the Heroine or whatever it was comes crashing down. Like, fuck Maxim, fuck the Brotherhood of Steel. They are always assholes. God damn. Before I cut this, another thing is the whole idea of you're not ready for this technology always makes you want to slap the person that says it. The whole point of technology is you are never ready. You're never ready. Were we really ready for steel? Were we really ready for computers? Were we really ready for guns? No. So the point is, you're never ready for a certain technology or knowledge. You're never going to be. There's no such thing as now you're ready. It's all bullshit. It's some of my most hated things in sci-fi is the advanced alien race, like the Kryptonian Council in the Superman things. Like, they're not ready. Like, fuck you, we're never going to be ready. The point is that you grow into it. Yeah, there's going to be mistakes. Yeah, there's going to be problems. Yeah, we're going to screw up, but we will learn. You don't learn to walk without falling down. You don't learn to run without tripping. You don't learn to climb without falling. Okay? That's normal. That's really the best analogy. You can't learn to walk without falling down. That's the same with technology. We're not ready, but that's the point. We learn. We make mistakes, but we'll learn. Well, fuck the Ministry of Technology. Fuck all those fucking things. Oh my god. I really hate I hate the Brotherhood of Steel.